Hello.
Hi, Siddharth. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, while others may or may not join, I don't know. But just in terms of what you are doing currently, so okay, we have Aditya. What is the general kind of problems that you are solving currently? Is it shortlist or any other source?
Shortlist and TSTs from other countries.
Okay. So I think you may already be in touch with Aditya and maybe a few other seniors also who might have been in touch with you during previous years. So and what is the IMOTC start date?
It's for seniors 21st and for juniors I'll check.
It's 14th, Junior.
Okay.
Okay, basically 1 week before now. So I'm not sure if anybody else is going to join. Anyway, the meeting is getting recorded. So I mean, the idea of setting up this schedule is just to give you a platform where if you anyways you are already studying for IMOTC, so any particular support that you need from us, whoever faculty are available or other ex-medalists, so they can help you out. And the guideline which I posted on WhatsApp, that roughly speaking, if you can try to solve 3-4 questions every day from IMO shortlist or other problem sources, that will give you some sort of continuity to keep trying various problems. And as I said, it might be a good idea to first try the problems without taking any external help, and then after a few days, you attempt the problems with some, maybe read one or two lines of hint from a solution or discuss with other students, things like that. So that will give you the chance to both solve them independently as well as what sometimes is called group solve. So where two, three students can work towards the problem together as a group. So both things are possible. So this will be kind of open-ended from my side. I will not be driving the discussion very particularly that we'll do this, after that we'll do that. So it's up to you to take the benefit of this platform in whatever way you feel comfortable. If you uh, have any particular topics in mind that this topic I need help for, or these are the questions where I struggle, so you can bring those to my attention, and if I can help you with those, I will be I'll do that. Or many topics where I myself am not that comfortable to solve, I will take help from others, maybe one of you itself, because I think within the group itself we have a lot of diversity. Because on the one hand we have Aditya, who has already been a IMO medalist, and Siddharth has appeared for the exam before, and Arnav is appearing. Did you appear last year? Arnav, I don't know.
No, sir, first time.
Okay. So, there is a lot of diversity. So it's very hard to say, give a particular difficulty level and say everybody work on that. So everybody will be at a different point in their preparation. But so that is a good thing, because then, Aditya, you can spend some time being a mentor for others. Siddharth, you also, that, you help out other students who are joining the group. And I wouldn't say spend too much time on that, because finally you also have to prepare for your own, but maybe a couple of hours every week if you sync up with other students. And most important I feel is thinking, like loud thinking. What doesn't help us that much is knowing the final solution, but how did you approach that? Why did you think of this idea? So this kind of open discussion will be very helpful for other students to learn from, and to learn from each other also. So that is how I'm thinking about this platform, that it's not like I will be only speaking and others will be listening. I want you to speak to each other. And I mean, to that end, if you want to set up some different time is comfortable for you, you want to meet in person, all that flexibility is in your hands. So it's up to you to talk to each other and decide how you want to meet. But at least from my side, this is what I'm planning to do. That you can start with any arbitrary year. Let's say I shortlist 2015. I mean, the calculation is that from today, we have exactly 4 weeks before the IMOTC junior batch starts. So if we say in 1 week, we focus on one year's shortlist problems. And then again, because Aditya, you're already probably advanced in terms of the difficulty level that you can manage. So you might be looking at the harder shortlist problems. So maybe A5, A6, A7. And Arnav, because you're just starting out, maybe you will be looking at A1, A2, A3, A4, for example. So there might be some overlap and maybe some non-overlap, let's say. But as far as possible, if we try to streamline our studies in this way, to some extent, at least we can take each other's help and keep progressing. And I think another important question that would come up is that how much time should you spend writing the proofs versus solving problems. So at least for the three of you, whatever solutions I've seen so far in INMO, etc., I think your presentation is quite good. So I don't think, I mean, I'm pretty confident for at least all three of you that if in your mind you are sure that you have solved a problem, 95% of the time it will be right. But there are other few students who may have this difficulty that they think their solution is right, but when they present it on paper, either there is some logical flaw in the reasoning which they don't notice, or they may not write it in a way which makes the ideas very clear for the examiner. So that is a difficulty which I think other students may face more than you. So for you, I would say you can keep the number of problems to be written out completely as fairly low as a percentage of your total problem solving. So maybe 1 in 5 problems, 1 in 10 problems, and ultimately you can be the judge that there are problems where you are confident that this is easy to represent. Then just keep. I mean, you can don't have to spend the time writing it. But if there is a problem, maybe in combinatorics where you are not sure what could be the best way to represent it, then spend some time to write it out, and if you send it to me, I'll take a look at it, or you can share it with each other also. So all these things are possible. So that is the rough outline which I am thinking in my mind. And maybe another thing to mention is that, I mean, to some extent, this well, 4 weeks you can consider as a sprint. I mean, Olympiad is, we call it a marathon because the preparation goes on for many years typically. But within that marathon, you can have specific time, like the next 4 weeks, which we can call a sprint, where we are focusing on one particular activity, which is IMOTC preparation. But I mean, it's not necessary that everybody has the same amount of dedication towards IMOTC selection and things like that. Maybe finally, we know that Olympiads is only one aspect of mathematics. I'm sure all of you have studied lots of topics outside of Olympiad, which are also interesting. So there is no restriction that you have to do Olympiad only. It's up to you. If you are driven to do your best, get into the team and win a medal, then you should devote maximum time towards exam preparation. But if you are equally inclined to do other topics in mathematics, then you are free to take that liberty. So it's completely up to you how you want to plan your time. But at the very minimum, I would say at least try to spend 6 hours every day. So that, I mean, assuming that like IMO style, if you are spending 1.5 hours for one problem, so then every day you will be doing at least 4 problems in that regard. So that is the rough guideline which I can give you, but finally it's up to you. So yeah, I mean, continue to use this platform. As I said, I will set up this meeting every Thursday and Sunday. I think this night time should be okay for most of us. So and it will be a short meeting most of the times, half an hour or maximum 45 minutes, so that if we have anything to discuss, any particular problem that you attempted where either you have some alternate solution which is not there in the official solution, or you are stuck somewhere, you require a hint from somebody else, then you can raise your hand and we can discuss on that. And also maybe which years should we start from? So I would suggest IMO 2015 shortlist on. So 2015 to 19. These 5 years is what maybe I will think of covering, but let me know in case you already covered those and you want a different time range, then we can choose that accordingly. But otherwise, is it okay if we start with IMO 2015 shortlist and we'll keep on advancing 1 year every week? Okay. So, I mean, the ask for you is that look at the IMO shortlist problems, start from A1 to whatever difficulty you want. So, let's say for those who are appearing for INMO for the first time, I would say focus on rather IMOTC for the first time, A1, A2, A3, A4 can be your focus. Those who are more comfortable with that difficulty level, you can look at A5, A6, A7 also. So, well, just one thing to comment about the shortlist is that in some sense, the shortlist is a mixed bag, because on the one hand, of course, the problems of IMO come from shortlist, and many times even the team selection test problems are taken from past shortlist, things like that. I mean, this year's shortlist is not disclosed until the end of the IMO, things like that. So in that regard, the shortlist is a good candidate to prepare for team selection test. At the same time, unfortunately or fortunately, you can say the shortlist problems are the odd man out. I mean, the best problems out of those are the ones that get picked for IMO, and somehow slightly less good problems are the ones which are left over. So, I mean, slightly less good in the sense that the solution may not be very elegant, or there might be some particular technique you need to know. So, somehow they could be kind of outliers. But that is, I mean, the double-edged sword. That in a way, it will prepare you for different strategies which you may have not thought about before. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but just something to keep in mind that it's a paradoxical thing that preparation for IMO TST may not necessarily mean preparation for IMO in certain sense of the word. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so then as I said that this but we are like slightly short half week because we are starting on Thursday. So by Sunday evening you will still get 3 full days to attempt the problems. If you I plan to at least cover the first 4 problems of all 4 topics. Okay, algebra, geometry, number theory, common topics. So total 16 problems that if you can attempt as much as possible within the next 3 days, then we can discuss it on Sunday. And then from Sunday onwards, we'll set some more regular schedule that how many problems you want to do every week. And we'll keep adjusting this over time. I mean, as and how if we find that this is too hectic, we need more time to spend on each problem, we'll slow down, or the other way around. So we can keep adjusting as and how required. Okay, so those are all the thoughts from my side. Right now, is there anything in particular where you feel that you would like some help? Maybe any topic you want to cover where you struggle particularly or anything else like that?
Geometric transformations.
Geometric transformation. So, I mean, the thing is, the question themselves very rarely directly refer to geometric transformation. It's that you have to pick and choose which problem is amenable to a transformation approach, because I don't think every problem is suitable for that. So I think looking at the sort of body of various solutions available for every problem, not just the official solution, but any alternate solutions, I think we have to develop the intuition to figure out which problems are amenable to transformation approach and which are not. Because I think typically as you go for harder problems, right, it's never the case that only transformation will finish the problem, because ultimately transformation can only transform, as the name says, the problem statement into a different equivalent statement. But you still have to prove that statement somehow. So I mean, many questions I think are a good mix of transformation followed by somewhat brute force calculation, maybe trigonometry, some coordinate vectors. So this kind of dual approach is often does work out. I mean, in geometry as well as all other questions, the difficulty is always finding the missing link, because if you break the problem into 3, 4 smaller problems, then everybody can get it. But there is some hidden point, some hidden construction which is not obvious, because almost you can say that the whole diagram is not presented to you. The exam center, when we created the problem, must have drawn a much larger diagram, and then they erased part of the diagram. So what you're looking at is only a partial diagram. So somehow you have to figure out how to guess the rest of the diagram from that. So I mean, we'll try to take as much help as possible from all the seniors within the team, and wherever possible, we'll try to illustrate the idea that why we thought of this transformation, why we thought of making this construction, and try to build our intuition that way. But yeah, to some extent, it will come down to intuition, which you have to develop over time, and to some extent, it comes down to observation, that observing the pattern in every problem. But okay, I'll keep this in mind, that whenever I am also attempting geometry problems or discussing them, I will try to point out if there are any transformation approaches. That I will do anyway, because my transformation is one of my own favorite topics. So I try to look for it wherever possible, but I'll try to focus on it even more. One more related point, because I mentioned it, is the what you call it, bashing, right? The brute force technique, trigo bash, complex bash, coordinate bash. So that is another idea which many students are quite comfortable with doing very efficiently. So up to you to figure out that are you comfortable with those kind of bashing ideas, or you are comfortable with more traditional classical geometry approaches. So it comes down to your personal preference, I think, ultimately. But if you are going to be serious about bashing, then have a really good set of tools available to you. I mean, don't start developing everything from first principles in the exam. Don't waste your time there. I mean, you should be sort of very fluent with the basic whatever manipulations are required in a typical bashing calculation, like quickly choosing the best frame of reference, quickly choosing the right variables. These things should be time savers for you and not time killers in the exam, because already you will be under pressure to do the correct calculations without mistakes in the exam. So as much sort of beforehand preparation you do, what in MPI we often called MMR, right? Minimum memory, what toolkit or something, I forgot. But yeah, I mean, that kind of toolkit is very useful. Like basic things: what is the distance of a point from a line? What is the equation of a tangent to a circle? What is the equation of common tangents? You shouldn't be wasting your time deriving these things in the exam if you are serious about bashing approach. So that is one thing I will suggest. Okay, I think that's all from me. So as I said,
Sir, what is the format of selection test?
I think it is pretty much IMO style. So 3 questions, 4.5 hours, and I think they may also try to do it back to back, like just you have consecutive days of IMO. So selection test 1 and 2 will be on consecutive days, and selection test 3 and 4 will be on consecutive days. And I believe they used to have practice tests for juniors. They should have 1 or 2 practice tests this time also.
Yes, I think we have 2 practice tests and then
Okay.
4 selection tests.
Yeah. Okay. So it will be almost exactly a replication of the IMO environment. Yeah. I mean, if you want, you can organize your own studies in the same way, to just to put you in the same body clock. But I mean, that will be still maybe 4.5 hours every day. If you have more time to spend, it is better to do that as well. So yeah. Okay, and apart from shortlist, actually, I was asking Anish Kulkarni if he has any other suggestions that which other problems students can do. So he mentioned that Iranian geometry or Iranian Olympiad also has some really good problems. So if you want, you can take a look at those. In fact, there are many other national contests. I think Canada, British Maths Olympiad, they are also there. So you are free to expand the sort of the problems which you are looking at beyond IMO shortlist. It's up to you. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all from me. If you don't have any other questions or suggestions, then we'll meet on Sunday night and we'll discuss the IMO 2015 shortlist problems. And again, Aditya Siddharth, just a suggestion from my side that I think you have already sort of advanced towards more higher difficulty problems. So you may find the easier problem discussion a little bit boring, but still, if you join once in a while, it will be very insightful for us to hear from you that how you approach these problems, because the more alternate approaches or ideas we have, the better it will make all of us as problem solvers. So it will be very useful to hear your thoughts on the easier problems, even though you may focus most of your preparation on the harder problems. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then that's all for right now. Thank you. Bye. We'll meet on Sunday.
Thank you, sir. I would
Thank you,
just want
sir.
to
Thank you, sir.
remind the
Thank you.
first few minutes. What time are we meeting on Sunday?
This time is comfortable for everybody. Anyway, as I said, it will not be a very big meeting, half an hour to 45 minutes. Then I will set it up as a recurring meeting at 9 p.m. every Sunday and Thursday. Okay.
That sounds great. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.